All right, we're doing our usual Saturday stream. A little bit later than usual because we start with usual, then we go to usual. I was doing some things before beginning, trying to finish this comic. I finally got through the original 66 issues of X-Men. And I just finished this morning reading Giant Size X-Men #1, which is the introduction of Storm, Colossus, and then some other. I always try to. I don't want to say Wolverine because I know that he first shows up in Hulk, but that's what causes me to kind of get a little fuzzy about saying all the members. The lack of what do you call it? Not wanting to give misinformation. But I'm really excited for the books after this because this starts the Chris Claremont run, beginning with Uncanny X-Men #94. Because I mentioned before that the book was canceled, and then for 5 years there were just no new X-Men stories, and then they put out Giant Size X-Men #1, and that inspired them to actually start telling new stories again. And it began Chris Claremont's, I'd say, historic 15-year plus run on that book. So I'm really excited to begin his stuff. I might read some of the stuff after that, but he's the main course, is the way to put it. Oh, I don't even want to look at Brandon. Somebody sent me a screenshot of what he wrote this week, and it was hard not to throw my computer out the window. I mean, it was really disgusting. He has some nerve showing up here after what he did. I mean, what a sick thing. And he really thought we wouldn't see it. I guess that's the good thing about online. You have people that are just looking everywhere. Now, you know what happened. Someone sent me a screenshot on Discord of Brandon on YouTube. So it wasn't on Discord. They were sending me this screenshot of him on YouTube on Discord, where Brandon was quoted as saying, "I'm waiting for Justin to retire." And I said, that's no way. Brandon's one of my most frequent. He doesn't comment that much on my videos like a lot of other subscribers, but he shows up more than a lot of them. Why would he say that? And then they were like, well, you remember what he said on the TYT video? I was like, what TYT video? So then they sent me a screenshot, which was on my own channel, of where you said that you were waiting for the decline of TYT. And then there was some other time where you said so this is just what you do. You wait for things to end. So you're waiting for TYT to decline. You're waiting for Boruto to conclude, and you're waiting for me to retire. No, that person had that same blue picture, and the name was spelled the same way. So you've been exposed. I couldn't believe it. I said, this can't be him. Really, Ro, you're waiting for me to retire. What a sick thing. They showed me multiple screenshots on different people's videos where you said you're waiting for TYT to decline. You said you're waiting for Boruto to be over. You said you're waiting for Marvel to go bankrupt again, or excuse me, to almost go bankrupt like it did in the 90s. You said you're waiting for me to retire. I couldn't believe it. No, it wasn't. Swear on God. Well, you can reconcile. I don't know what religion you are. Like if you're an atheist and you say you swear on God, it doesn't mean anything. That's like if I said, like for them, that's like saying you swear on a fictional character. So I don't know what religion you are. So that has to be confirmed that you're like, some religious affiliation for that to be impactful. Yeah, and you wanted me to retire, and you wanted Boruto to end. We got all the screenshots. You wanted The Simpsons to end. which you're not alone in that. That's the one I see a lot of people say. But whatever. You want the Family Guy to end. You want American Dad to end. You want the Dragon Ball Super manga to end. You really like conclusions. It's like, damn. I haven't. And the crazy thing is, I haven't even been running as these other series. Then why do you want me to retire? Do you even read One Piece? Like, what is with the fascination with wanting that to conclude? No, really. Every time I see somebody asking that, it's people that don't read it. Like I had James write that about 5 or 6 months ago, and he admits he's never even read a single issue, not issue, chapter, or seen any of it. Yeah, well, look, I'm someone who's read the entire series. In fact, where's that book? Oh, looky here. And there is no way in hell that's going to wrap up anytime soon. With all the characters that were introduced 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago, we still barely know anything about. Oda will be really rushed and crazy if he tries to conclude that anywhere in the recent future. I think at my earliest theory is 27, because that'll be the 30th anniversary of the manga. So other than that, it will probably be after that. Because people do like doing things during anniversaries that are crazy. I'll never forget Amazing Spider-Man 700, where they have Doc Ock, Dan Snott had Doc Ock take Peter's body. I was like, you got this landmark issue, and you're gonna sit up here and do something crazy like that? Look, when I retire, I'll let you know, since you're waiting on it. I couldn't believe when I read that. This person comes to my stream regularly, and he's gonna sit up here and write that about me. Oh, don't start doing that. Please don't write that. Please get rid of that. I really do not want to read that. Now, Akatsuki Merchant, I don't know if you were here for this stream, but I know you were here for when I brought it up later. I had a user back in November who actually wrote this because he was trying to tell me that if you don't obsess over chicks, then that's like the only thing that matters. And he wrote the sentence, "Money is meaningless." And I clowned him for it because, I mean, that's a completely ridiculous statement to make. Most of the things that people do that they don't want to do are tied to getting coins. And his response to getting made fun of for actually typing the sentence, "Money is meaningless," was to say, "You took what I said out of context." And then a couple of months after that, I was watching the stream these guys made on themselves playing a video game while some guy was talking about what movie was that? Man of Steel. And the guy was arguing something about the science. He was trying to like explain the logistics of a character being able to fly or something with applying real world logic to this fictional universe. And they were like tearing down his arguments. So guess what he wrote? "You took what I wrote out of context." So now every time somebody writes something and you read the full comment and they want it to have a different meaning from what you're interpreting it based off of what you just read, "You took what I wrote out of context." That's the go-to expression people have on here. I'm gonna start doing that. Somebody plays a video of me. You took what I said out of context. Which video did I say I want? No, you didn't say you wanted me to disappear. You said you wanted me to retire. I couldn't believe it. I was like, really? TYT's been on YouTube since, well, not YouTube, but on the internet since what, 2002? I don't see anybody saying they need to retire. Secular Talk's been doing videos since 2008. Nobody's saying he should retire. So all these other people, they get to last, but I got to go after a few years. Yeah, he didn't tell me what video it was on because I didn't ask. When I read your comment, I was in such shock, I couldn't even click it. I actually had my brother come in the room and touch me right here on my chest. And I asked him, what are you doing? He said, oh, from the way you looked, I thought you had been shot. I mean, it was unbelievable that you would write something like that. I'm trying to get me to retire. Everybody else get to go for 10 and 15 and 12. Fox has been going since what, 96? Nobody tells them they need to retire. Nobody tells Rupert Murdoch, hey, you got to hang up the hat. That's it. I'll ask next time I go on there. So I'm glad you finally have addressed these allegations. Gotta love how people say the most ridiculous stuff and then quickly abandon when they realize how dumb they sound. What does who mean? I'll ask this person what the video was next time I see him. I haven't been on Discord. I already mentioned before, I don't like using that stupid website. You know what, Akatsuki Merchant, that's true because we've had multiple instances just during streams where people will say something and then they abandon it, like that guy that said money is meaningless. When like he typed that sentence and then I started to mention all this stuff that is happening because of money, that, you know, that's why you need it, it's a utility. And then he goes, you took what I said out of context. You know, abandoning what he wrote because he was getting mocked over and over again. It was the same thing with that Nyazyme person. Like, you come to somebody's stream trashing them for their attire, and then after they're like, all right, screw you, whatever. Like, well, I'm actually a fan of yours. Like, you just sat here for a whole stream insulting me for over an hour. Oh, I'm actually a fan of yours. Nah, people on here backtrack so quickly, it's not even funny. Took what I said out of context. Every time somebody writes that, and you know, again, when I actually see people being taken out of context, what usually happens is somebody will play a clip of someone during, let's say, a video they made, right? And then they'll completely ignore all of what was said before that, or they'll play it in some manner that is not like if someone reads a sentence where it says the N-word and then they play that and they're like, oh, see, this person said the N-word. It's like, yeah, that's actually taken some out of context. But when you take a comment and you read it in its entirety, and then the person says, this is being taken out of, it's like, what? We're reading what you wrote. Oh, there's Eurodollar. Yeah, I found out one of my subscribers wants me to retire. They'll say something dumb, and when you address them, they hide behind context as a way to quickly trash the dumb thing they said. Well, I literally said not even 10 minutes ago that we're going to ask the person what video it was on. I mean, again, your goose is cooked. Because when he sends me that link and we click that channel and it shows that it's you, it's going to be Brandon Gate. I just can't believe you would write something like this about me. Everybody else gets to go for 10 years and 20 years, but I only get 5 before I get shut down and advocated for retirement by one of my subs. Can't believe it. But that was you. They had your name and your picture and your writing style. So again, we're gonna ask him what the video was. If that video comes back and we click the link and it's you, we should call the stream Brandon Gate. Man, I hate that for YouTube they don't have a function where you can click on channels anymore, because that does mean that somebody can just make the same name and picture, and they're like, unless you're really big and you have the little check by your name, I don't want you to leave, but send a link anyway. Yeah, I have to ask the person for the link. I don't know. They had a lot of proof to support, because it was like, why else would you say I'm waiting for these other things to end if this wasn't like a thing you do where you're like waiting for different things to go down or conclude or wrap up. A lot of those romance guys are like that. They come to my like videos like, "You've made too many videos on this. You have talked about this for too long." Like, this is the romance stuff is the only thing I've ever seen where there's a time limit on it. You can only make 5 videos, then you gotta move to something else. Sounds to me someone is on the verge of being Thanos snapped. Yeah, I gotta retire. One of my subs wants me to pack it up. Hope you're good in the chat. Well, I was good until I read a very disturbing comment. Facts. It's a fact that Vince disappears. And Vince is like Barricade from the Transformers movies. Like, Barricade was in the first one, then he's not in the second one. He lives through the first one, just doesn't show up in the next one. Then he's in the third one. And then he disappears for the fourth one, and then he's, I think, in the fifth one again. It's like, what is this? Like, these really infrequent appearances is so weird. Yeah, my own sub wants me to just pack it up. I've been well. That didn't last too long. I don't even know what viral is. You do one stream and you get 100 people on it, and that's supposed to be viral. Yeah, we're caught up in the Brandon scandal, where he got caught in 4K writing a comment about how he was waiting for me to retire. Saw a super busted girl with a way more attractive guy. It's gotten very real, gentlemen. Yeah. I mean, there are plenty of men that are like, skinny or in shape that get with women that are not. And then remember, oh, if a woman's overweight, body positivity. If you're, if you don't have muscles but you're not fat, you need to go to the gym. People on this website really act like your life revolves around their dumb psychoanalysts. Yeah, they want you to do everything based off of them. Isn't that like Two-Faced? I mean, hey, he probably, he might say one thing in front of me, one thing in the back. I mean, as we start calling Brandon Harvey Dent, and he gets played by by Billy D. Williams. And then by what's the other guy, Aaron Eckhart? You either what's the phrase? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself call for someone's retirement behind their back. But if I agree with most of what you say, why would I want you to retire? Well, I mean, you apparently like that's what I don't get. It's like why would you? Well, remember, we know that people on this website are two-faced and they say things that are like antithetical to what they do. Like the guy that said he needs to change, but then he shows up to each subsequent stream 2 or 3 times after that. If I was trolling you in the beginning, you would know. Yeah. Oh, by the way, that guy that wrote that is the only person I've ever seen, like out of all those people I screenshot that actually got banned by YouTube, like YouTube removed his account for writing hateful or hurtful comments to people. Even the website was like, "Yeah, we don't need that trash. Get out of here." It's an ego farm and a projection screen for insecurities. I don't know what's wrong with the people on this website. One where you can flip flop opinions if you make enough content to erase people's memories with bonus for drama. Well, there was that one guy I used to watch that had he would always say politics doesn't matter, like it's an inconsequential thing that he doesn't care about. But then he made, in a span of like 3 or 4 years, over 30 videos about politics. I'm like, you can't say you don't care about something and then keep making like. Imagine if I said, "Man, I don't care about Naruto," and I've got a Hyuga Clan video, a Rock Lee video, a Neji video, a Choji video. You're like, what is this? I don't know. I only remember the One Piece and TYT comments. That's it. Well, you can say that, but that picture, that guy had the same picture and name as you. So when we get the link and we click it and it's you, you'll be caught. Can't believe you would do this. People go through formalities subconsciously, but in reality, it's lying. Why are you lying to her? Did you check my? No, I didn't. Listen, I don't go in any of these people's comments ever. Like I put up a video or a stream, that's it, and I'll see if somebody writes something on it, and that's the full extent of me actually looking to see what people are doing on here. This person found your comment on somebody else's video where you said, "I am waiting for Justin to retire," and then they screenshot that and sent it to me. Similar to chicks doing the same, red herring, doing stuff indicative of a person who shows interest only to flip around and transform and friend zoning you, etc. Yeah, that's why I said I want to make that romance comic book video. Show all the little parallels, the red herring, the plot twist, redundant stories, the retcons. How the hell you gonna ask somebody on a date, they say yes, and then you go, "I thought I was interested, but I'm not. I just got really confused." Because you can check if you want. If it's not me, you owe me an apology. I'm not apologizing for anything. Like, if you're so offended, just go watch somebody else. You know how many people have said nasty things to me on here and haven't said sorry? I got a whole 100 plus comments of people writing gross stuff on this channel and never saying sorry at all. It's weird how people hate on others just for doing something they enjoy. But nobody's saying you're offended. Like if you think I'm gonna apologize for receiving a screenshot and then saying, "What is this?" No. So if you are really bothered by that, or you don't like that, I won't apologize or whatever, It's not weird, it's human nature. It's weird how people hate on others just for doing something they enjoy. Or remember, like with the romance guys, they claim they dislike those videos, but then if you talk about something else, they don't show up. Like the stuff we're supposed to believe is bad to make is the stuff they show up on. That is true. The amount of slack people have given on here only for posting videos. Imagine like people you've never interacted with directly, you've never said anything to, you're not telling them what they should do. You just make a video and these people are like analyzing you and calling you out of your name and saying they're going to do and you're like, what is this? That's why I started calling them villains, because it's like I can't. What hero, what protagonist in any story that you've read goes on a computer to write nasty things to people who've never done anything to them? If you go to work and your boss says, yo, here is 50% pay raise, you're going to be excited until you get on your lunch break and you hear that everyone else got 120%. Now you don't even want it. Nah. Hey, I'm the villain for making a video, not the woman that had a kid she knew she couldn't afford and destroyed its life before it even began. Those are the real protagonists, huh? Hey, what did Gemini Goof write? You seem to judge women very harshly over every little thing. It's like, yeah, I wasn't judged very harshly over every little thing. I was able to make a literal video showing I've been criticized for everything, but I'm not judged very harshly over every little thing. We can only be happy if someone else is suffering, perpetual sacrificing. I think it's because you have no, I mean, I don't care. Like when you deal with people on this website long enough, you see a lot of the patterns. Oh, here we go with this guy again. Let's all be reminded of Trevor's past. We got to do a flashback. What stream was that? Oh, it was on the What Was the Point stream. Oh, give me a second. I got to wait for the thing to... Trevor writes, keep crying about not getting women. James X James replies, you're not going to leave, bro. Laugh my you-know-what off. You'll come back next week. Trevor writes, LOL James, watch me. So the very same guy that said he was leaving, that he wasn't coming back, that stream was what, 2 weeks ago? August 23rd. Not even 2 weeks. Like, why are you here? I'd love to know. No, I didn't. Listen, I don't block these people because I want you to see how insane and psychotic they are. Go to that stream, and it's that same person who said, I am leaving not even 2 weeks ago, back again. And it's like, bastard, if this stuff really offended you, you would go. Why are your streams mostly about the villains? Or you like it. That's why you come every other week. That's why you said, that's why after saying you were going to stop watching me in March, you're still here in September. Like literal psychopaths. They're going to tell you, oh, you're so redundant. You talk, it's like, but you're redundant. You keep saying you're going to go, but you don't go. They know what they said. They're just psychotic freaks with no soul. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with them. People like him are very psychotic and obsessed for some reason. Ever since March, that person has said they were going to stop watching me, and they have been back not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, not 6, might even be 10. I've lost count of how many times I've seen these recurring villains show up again. It's literally like a comic book. Extremely obsessed. And then you're gonna have the nerve to try and criticize my stuff. It's like, yeah, if you disliked it, you would show you dislike it by not watching it. I thought the Dragon Ball Super manga was terrible, so I don't read it. The only time I read it was when they didn't have plot summaries anymore. Because I would keep hoping, oh, is this one gonna finally be better? Is this one no? No, okay. I think Ben Shapiro's opinions are trash, so I don't watch him. Same thing with Mark Levin. Same thing with Candace Owens. But for some reason, the person that doesn't like what I have to say can't seem to go away. I'm going to defend women so much that I act like I'm blind, because never criticizing them has destroyed my mind. That's how they act. I'm not trying to say you can stand her. I'm saying it doesn't make, like, if I don't think someone's content is good, I don't watch them. I don't like having my time wasted with content I don't think is enjoyable. So either he's lying about actually believing it and just trying to get some attention, or he's insane. They get attention from a visible person. It's one step up from a text reply, I guess. It's just with this user, it's like he says over and over, LOL, I'm leaving, I'm never coming back. And then, like Frieza, he keeps popping up again. No, you know what? He's Joker because he shows up like over and over and he doesn't even have an army or anything. Yeah, I'm going to start reading his comments in the Heath Ledger voice. Why is it that your streams are either about villains or your failure with women? That's what he said. What they act like. Jesus Christ. So we need to, from now on, we're not even going to call YouTube YT. We're just going to call it the YMCA, because that's exactly how fruity these guys on this website like to act. We ain't talking about don't stop to read the box. Just on the other side of the political spectrum. That's not facts and opinion. I hate when people nod their heads and say facts. Well, you can say whatever you want. I just hope that you actually mean it, unlike the person who keeps saying, I'm not watching your stuff anymore, and then shows up every other week. That's why I don't block like most of these people anymore, because I want to see if they'll actually leave. Like him and that guy that crashed my what was the point stream, both of them since then have shown up at least once. The other guy showed up twice after that. They really can't just leave, but once you block them to prevent them posting silly comments on your channel. My free speech. Yeah. That guy on that World Without Heroes stream, he didn't get blocked until he told the biggest lie I've ever seen on this website, talking about I support your growth. A guy that never comments on your videos, never donates, nothing. It subscribed 2 years ago to write nasty comments on one stream for an hour, cares so much about you. If you believe that I have a bridge to sell you, then what do you say when you agree with someone? Oh, he's talking to somebody else. It's because people on YouTube think they're entitled to force their unsolicited criticisms onto you because they can hide their faces behind the screen. Well, like most people that call me ugly are usually hiding their faces, like most of these guys. And out of all of them, none of the ones that have come to my comment section have ever proven they're with a woman. We had one guy come on my video talking about he lifts weights and muscle. It's like, okay, show it. Do a video. Because I'm not ashamed of my appearance. So, do a video showing these muscles. And he never made it. Just like that Trevor person, if I dig hard enough, I can find one of my streams where he said that he was in a relationship and I laughed. I didn't laugh at the comment like directly about the comment, just I'm like, then show it, prove it. These people make so many unsolicited claims about themselves to look like really impressive, but they're nothing. Why is it that the people who try to make you feel ashamed of the way you look always hide their face? Anyone notice that pattern? The people sitting over here in these comment sections preaching about how, oh, just do this to get a woman. Never shown any proof they've done any of that crap they say. Like Simzone, excuse me, was laughing at the comment from that guy about like the Panther. Put like 10 different things on there. No proof that guy did any of that stuff himself. He just ran his mouth in my comment section. Anyone can say they're in a relationship, but show some proof. And that's my thing. They won't show proof of anything. They claim to be fit, but they hide their face and have no videos showing off. Like, I can't picture a scenario where I have like these muscles that I'm saying everybody needs to have, and I don't show them. The ones who say, "Oh, do this stuff to get a woman." No, not a single one of these bastards in the 5 years of this romance content have ever shown when they've come to my comment section that they have a woman. No proof ever. The only people that show proof they have a woman, sometimes those guys that make videos about how to get with somebody, and usually their own life contradicts their advice. Like we talked about that in the self-improvement video, the guy that was saying, "Oh, do this." It's like you're going to sit here and honestly tell me that we should take you seriously and believe you about your advice when you've only ever dated one person. That's like me winning one, like me being a lawyer, right? And I win one case, like, all right, let me give you some legal advice. This is how you win cases. It's like, how many cases have you won? Oh, one. It's like, what? They don't want to claim their partner because they got with someone lower than them to protect their fragile ego. And a lot of these PUA guys are just paying women to act. Well, look, I don't want to get into that because then, we're going to start the conspiracy theory stuff. Is this person's girlfriend? But, they don't show, like when they talk about the advice stuff, right? None of those guys who have ever written that stuff in my comment section have proven that they do it themselves. Not a single time. The guy that said do 500 push-ups every day, he had a picture top of his head like that. But we're supposed to believe that he's this bastard son from Krypton who's going to show us how to how to rake up the muscles. Like, get out of here, Yeah, I honestly wouldn't want to get into that either. What you say is very true, however. The PUA stuff is literally why women are the way they are. Picking up women is not an art. It's not hard to wave a dollar bill and get. Yeah, but it goes back to my thing about the like ridiculous standards people impose on you for, again, the tiniest bits of stuff from a woman. Like, I know a lot of chicks, they don't own anything. And it's like you really have to be a millionaire to date someone who doesn't have a pot to piss in because she has a triangle between her legs. Like that somehow makes her worth doing all this stuff for. Hence why you don't see any of them addressing just how chicks have men. Well, yeah, because again, it's counterintuitive to the narrative. It's always your fault. And when you mention all these other men trying to talk to one woman, it's acknowledging an external factor that they can't blame you for. So they have to pretend it's not happening so they can make it, seem easier to go, oh, it's you, it's you, it's you. And the people who create the idea of marriage also believed in love potions and spells too. They are weirdos. I mean, again, I'm just saying it's really insane that these people try to actually try to make someone feel bad for not being with a woman when most of them don't show any proof that they're with anyone themselves. And there's entire groups of men with the same issue, showing that it's not just you that's affected by it. Those do like the way these people act, those groups could have millions of members. I'm not saying they do, but they could have millions of members. And they should be like, well, maybe something is wrong with you, because they never want to blame the woman. I'll break their fantasy or illusion they are trying to sell you so dating coaches can still get money for their services of unfortunate guys experiencing this, since they pretty much would be out of business. Well, that's why I don't, I'm not a scam artist. Like I'll get donations when people just send them, but I don't sit up like it's not, what's a good way of saying it? It is not profitable to me, the outcome of whether you get with someone or not, because I'm not selling anything with this stuff. I love that these guys are getting exposed. You could do everything these PUAs tell you down to a T and still get rejected simply because they can't. Yeah. And then they'll still blame you for getting rejected. You probably did this. You probably did that. Anything we can say to defend the dingbat. I guess, but a lot of chicks are passive, so don't get enough of them getting ashamed for not appearing men. Huh? I guess, but a lot of chicks are passive, so don't see enough of them getting shamed for not appearing men. All right. Dude, these people on this website also are like the biggest liars in the world, because it wasn't even like 2 weeks ago that we did that Dragon Ball stream, right? Where it was like mostly about cartoon stuff. And it's like, I'm sorry that if my subscribers want to discuss chick stuff, I actually try to cater to those people. My mistake. Oops. No, he left after that goofy comment. I hope I don't see him again. But that's the problem with these recurring villains. They keep popping up. Every dude I know that has a girl is always going through it with her, and the moment they get together, dude disappears because he's embarrassed to admit he stayed after all the BS he said she did. Everyone. Meanwhile, he doesn't know he's not the only one stressed out by her. Okay, now that comment makes more sense. Yeah, I was confused reading that. She'll talk about whatever you want. Yeah, but it's like if he wants to hear another topic, there's new stuff all week. And then I was trying to do like a weekly, Dead by Daylight video. So I don't, there's never just this influx of romantic stuff. That's why I don't like these people and think they're hypocrites, because to be fair, it does seem that most of the channels that discuss this only talk about it. But when you actively and regularly put out content about other topics, and these people like don't appear on any of that stuff, that's how you know they're just writing dumb comments. Because if they wanted to, they can have those other things discussed, but they don't, engage with it. So they don't actually care about hearing something else. They just want to complain that people are talking about chicks. Let's talk about how are willing to get rich to start acting. I'm good. I don't need to have BLM on me again. Anytime you get into that race stuff, it's always an issue. Good-headed, well-raised college boys getting face tats and rapping about shooting. They are nowhere to be seen at all on other streams that address other topics. Yeah. So that one guy said, talk about something else. I did a stream about Israel and Netanyahu, who was the current prime minister, banished. He disappeared. His disappearance would put Natalie Holloway and Jimmy Hoffa to shame. He was a no-show. And I said, it's cool if you don't want to watch that, but don't come around me and try to talk about what topics I should and shouldn't discuss. We're gonna put that guy's his profile picture is gonna be on the milk carton. Have you seen this YouTuber? He was last seen harassing another person. No, they love running that little ridiculous strategy. Oh, let me inquire why he does not discuss something else. Oh, wait, he does, but we don't watch it. Oh, because I don't sell drugs, bust guns, and go to jail. Sounds like they just want to argue about something for the sake of their amusement. It was the same thing with the guy that was like crying about clothes. It's like I'm not offended. I'm not upset that another man doesn't find me attractive. Like I'm not trying to court them, so it doesn't bother me. I think I'm gonna steal some chips later tonight and catch a misdemeanor so I can get. Well, again, it's really goofy because they sit here and they try doing this like women have ethics thing, and then you find out that chicks have dated murderers and all kind of other people that have done evil things. That's why I said they're actually saying you're worse than Hitler because you're not with a woman. Because he had a girlfriend and then for like the last 2 days of his life a wife. So they actually think that you know it's funny to realize that they won't directly say it, and we've even confronted like two or three of them over it, but that's basically what they're saying when they try to tell you that, oh, it's your personality or something, because they're saying you're worse than these people who have done much more egregious stuff than you simply because you're single. Because they view chicks as like this ultimate status sign. It's really stupid. It's like a reverse gender version of misogyny, like that old idea that oh, women have to have a husband. It's like you have to have a girlfriend or a wife, like no matter what else you accomplish. Which I don't believe, but they're douchebags, so they write this stuff, and it's always funny because the people actually saying it usually have nothing themselves. These people are such clowns. My neighbors live in boyfriend is an ex-con murderer. If you're not in a relationship, yeah. Again, one of them, the one that was in the "Woman Tries to Control Me" video, she tried saying, "No, I didn't," because before that she had said that maybe you're not with the women because you call them the B word. It was like, so you're saying that calling them the B word is worse than killing people? Now she changed topics really quickly. Yeah, that's a very interesting contrast. Well, that's why I said that people don't when they do the like psychoanalyst thing, right? You'll notice a lot of them when they're like being really nasty. So you're probably going to shoot up somewhere. You're probably going to molest because they want to believe you're a worse person than you actually are, so they can put more just world fallacy stuff on you. Like say, oh well, maybe if this person was not this way, a woman would have liked him back. They have to invent this fan fiction to like fill in the blanks. And by that logic, all rappers, dude, it's actually very hard to find a rapper that doesn't have a girlfriend. It's very amusing. Remember the clown that was trying to say that like being more successful, so like being famous or whatever, it like equates to a better relationship, which first of all is really stupid because we showed like all kind of different celebrities that were married over and over. So how is that successful? But it's like so now every man has to become a celebrity to get a date. Like you see how it just the logic it just keeps skipping. They don't think about it. They just write these comments that are really insane. Like if you have to be a celebrity to get a date, if you have to be a millionaire to get a date, if you have to have a six pack to get a date, this is all ridiculous crap that most people can't do. That's why I said the more stuff they tell you that you have to do to just get the tiniest bit of romantic attention from a woman, they're pushing this idea, um, that you have to put like jump through such a large amount of hoops that it really does start to become impossible to meet these people's expectations because it's unrealistic. You only have 3 followers on Twitter. No way are we getting in a relationship. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine a woman actually sitting there. She's like, well, if I'm going to date you, you need to have 1 million subscribers on YouTube. It's like, what? Dude, again, the way you know this stuff is screwed up is anytime you flip the genders. When you flip the genders, that's how you know it's insane. if you want to go on a date with me, you need 1 trillion YouTube subscribers. So you need 1 trillion views and 2 billion subscribers. Like, who could do that? None of it makes sense for chicks that nobody knows and have not accomplished anything in their lives. They are just a random, ordinary chick, but require all this work and effort. Girls these days, you don't have Instagram. So true. You have to be Obama with the. You know what? Um, I want to go back to what Megumi wrote. He said, none of it makes sense for chicks that nobody knows and have not accomplished anything in their lives. Because a lot of the people that come on my stuff, the way they talk, you would think they're these like big celebrities. Like that guy that said, you're a mediocre man. Like when I was talking about the Nia Zan, I was like, the great Nia Zan. Because it's like, who are you to tell somebody they need to change? Who are you to tell someone that, you know, they're inadequate? Like, what have you done? It's the same thing with these chicks. It's like they go around saying, "Oh, this one's out of your league." It's like, what? Out of your league? How? Who the hell knows who she is? What does she own? What has she done? Like, it's really nuts. Just for the slightest fragments of romantic reciprocation, how the hell can anyone say that and think it makes any sense? Because they're Hey, I'm gonna defend women until I'm blind because the triangle has destroyed my mind. And that it has destroyed their mind. It makes them believe that random chick nobody ever heard of, right, is equitable to men that, again, going off their fantasies, right, millionaire, famous, whatever. I fully believe you could be rich and famous and you would still have these people saying women are out of your league. Like they, again, because they want to defend them no matter what. But it's like just doing all that stuff for a date. You know, like, and then the only reason you don't see chicks saying this is ridiculous because it benefits them. Oh, everybody has to be a millionaire to go on a date with me. Just okay, it's enough to drive any normal dude crazy. Well, that's why I said, do not let the stuff these clowns online say to you get to you because they're just throwing anything at a wall and trying to see what sticks. Just blame the men who are ego boosting these chicks. I have to be a celebrity to get a date. Gotta climb Mount Rushmore and have 1 million subscribers. I had a fat single mom tell me she was the prize and I had to win her over. If everyone was rich, famous, and confident, women would start complaining that men are all the same, so you can't win no matter what. Yeah, they like remember uh not when you say you're done talking to chicks, not all of us are the same, but we want all men to be the same. You all have to have the same amount of money and the same job and like the same things. That's really why these women think so highly of themselves when it comes to dating. You just need the right pair of Nikes, that's all. Yeah. These magic shoes. Dude, it's the craziest thing to like go on Reddit or some other website that like let's say you post a picture of your face, right? So like imagine someone's like, maybe I'll go on a date, but what kind of shoes are you wearing? Like I've never seen somebody say, "Oh, this woman is attractive, but I don't like her shoes." Like it never get accepted, no matter what. Just want to use you to make other women jealous. No, I don't. I'm not exactly doubting that belief system. It's just really crazy that people think you're supposed to do all this stuff for some that's really not that special or cool or interesting or anything. Like, God, this chick thing is it really is like a cancer. Like they took the concept of dating, which is supposed to be when two people like each other and want to spend time with each other and actually enjoy the company of the other person and morphed it into this like weird premise where if you have a triangle, you're so much better than the other person. And if you're a male, you have to engage in these extraneous task to just possibly, maybe, potentially be able to take one on a date. It's like a real life RPG. Like you gotta do all these side quests. And the top woman is sitting in like a cardboard box, but you gotta live in a mansion to go on a date with. You know, the crazy thing too is that if like you could prove that there's a whole bunch of chicks that are rich, I actually would not approach any of them. But they're not. Yeah, but there is no top guy because they want every guy to be the same. But it's like even if you were the top guy, or whatever the term they want to use is, they're still gonna find a problem with you. Like let's say you're rich and you have muscles. You're ugly. You're probably short. It's always your fault. Nah, they just use you for your time, attention, and money. When we talk about chicks loving attention, they sit up on these websites, talk to guys that live in other countries, never gonna meet these men, but they'll have a whole inbox of messages with them. It is really nuts. It's the time wasting that really gets to me. I remember back when I was a kid, people would say the worst she can say is no. It's like, no, the worst she can do is pretend to like you to lead you into these like weeks and months long correspondence, and then give you all these like false hints and signs, and then go, "But I only like you as a friend," or uh, "I don't like you that way. I don't think we should speak anymore." I really never thought that because I remember the first time I rejected it was like over in an instant. It was done very quickly. Like it was one day she said no, and that was it. But it was only when I got online, especially like stuff with some in real life after like maybe like early high school, was like that's when it started getting into this ridiculous stuff where they can no longer just say no. There has to be this saga to them saying no. Like the one that asked me on a date, it's like, you go from that to sticking up all these requirements. You have to meet my parents. It's like, what is this? Having certain chicks say no after you invest a lot of time and effort into them, only for them to friend zone you, not going to be a part of a chick's reverse gender harem. Like I said, people are really insane if they don't understand why you would look at this and go, "This is not appealing. This is not a worthy investment of my time." But they sit there and they actually believe that, again, the magic triangle is worth doing all this stuff for. The weirdest ones for me are the ones that get physical then disappear. Why be all up on me only to bounce out of nowhere? I think I had that happen in real life one time where there was some broad that were like letting me touch up on her and then started reneging afterward. Where they try to make it seem like, "Oh, I like you so much. Oh, I'm so into you," and then they vanish. Or you see them again, they're like, "Oh, well, let's just be friends." Like, what? Again, it's really annoying. That's why I said to me they just seem like they're more trouble than they're worth, and that's why when I was talking about the hooker stuff, it's like at least with them you actually get what you paid for. Like, the only issue I have with them is that you do have some hookers where like no they have like race requirements, like they put no AA or whatever, which is the craziest thing in the world to me. It's like, how are you going to run a business and then be racist while running? That was always like the strangest thing. But again, if you pay them something, they'll actually do it. And I'd rather have it done with the price than sit here and talk to somebody that's not going to do it or not even going to do something that's much more basic, like go on a date. But with all this prologue and all this time wasting. Wait, what? Just wow, that plot twist. Dude, that plot twist stuff has happened so many times with chicks. Like, if I had a collection of everything they've ever written to me, it would make you want to tear your hair out. Like, just the stuff they say to entice you to believe they care about you or like you in some special, unique way, and they just toss you out like yesterday's trash. Like the one broad that lived in what was that, Australia, that agreed to marry me, and I only asked for that because her religion would let her go on a date, and then reneged. I was like, yeah, you better never come around me again after that. Imagine what I would look like if it came out on here that I got asked by someone to marry some woman to marry them. I said yes, and then I reneged. I'll be called unreliable in 2 seconds. How could you do that to her? You led her on. She was willing to spend possibly the rest of her life with you, and you did this. Again, when somebody does it to me, nobody cares. She knew not to send me any messages. I was like, nope, go away. And that's one of like the three most angriest periods I've had with chicks. Like, again, most of the stuff they just go whatever, but stuff like that is very. And again, it sucks because when you talk about this online, you have people who actually they try to mock you for being upset, but it's like, who would be happy at having, like, you get rejected year after year by chicks for a date, and then you have this broad that sits here and talks to you for like some continuous period, makes it seem as if she actually likes you back, and then you like this person enough to be willing to convert to their religion and marry them, and then they say yes, and then they renege, and then you're not supposed to be pissed or upset or angry. Yeah, they always is the straight guys. So they defend chicks no matter what. At this point, I think more guys need to make women put an effort to get with them. Well, look, I don't talk to any of them anymore. I haven't approached one online or in person in like I think 3 years. Whenever I made that last video was, I don't bother with them because again, I just got tired of having my time wasted. I'm not going through any effort like that just to bang a bigot. Told you, man, romantic relationships are just they used to look really like idealistic, right? You get with someone that that you like as a person. Maybe you make out, maybe you screw, but you like this person, you want to spend time with them, whatever. It's like I don't believe that'll ever happen for me. Like I think at best we'll have some like gold digger broad try to do a scam, like run that again. But I don't trust them anymore. They have too many ulterior motives for my taste. And I always say, if somebody else wants to try with them, I don't care. Like my best friend, he still talks to him. I said, hey, it's completely fine by me. He said, oh, maybe this year. I was like, no, if you want to keep doing it, don't take what I say into being a factor. Just do what you want. Like I'm not some don't bother with women advocate. I don't go around telling people what they should and shouldn't do. I just don't personally waste my time with them. Like, yeah, I made one video, it was like give up on it, something like that. But actually going to people in real life or on the internet, be like, don't even talk to her. No, I don't do that. That's real unfortunate, but I definitely hear what you're saying. I mean, I just think about that gold digger. It's like you sat here and spoke all nice for a month and then transformed. And then it's like you either get someone who is using you for coins or a bunch of chicks that I'm supposed to believe are not going to do that, but are gonna reject you. So you either end up with a person who's trying to use you for money or get turned down over and over. Like pick your poison. So like I'd rather just get turned down over and over. Maybe a chick will approach you when yeah. The magic romance here awaits. I already said I don't um what's a good way of saying it? I'm not against the possibility that one of them says something much later on or at some point, but it's hard to believe that in 5, 6, 10 years, oh, now this woman likes you for who you are. Yeah. Because I believe there's a time and place for everything. And that's why I mentioned that um, I go and look at my own family tree. It's like, my dad was early, he was like 20 when he met my mother. And then before that, my paternal grandpa met my grandma when he was 21 or 22. And then before that, great great my great grandpa, so my dad's dad, he was with my great grandma by the time he was 25. So like they're really like, I don't have a reason to believe there's going to be magic woman that shows up at age 30. Or if someone does try to say something to me, I have a lot of reason to believe it's going to be on some ulterior motive BS. Because we've tried that before. We speak to these chicks, make no mention of like anything about money or fame or not, and they pretend to be interested, and then when you ask them on a date, ugh. So I just think if one of them does say something on here, on some other website, or in real life, it's going to be some scam she's running. I just believe there's a time and place for everything. I think the idea that you'd have to wait year after year to get a date is insane. If chicks are so different and not all the same, you should have been able to have one of them out of those 90 that actually would go on a date instead of wasting everybody's time. That was funny. That one guy was like, "I know how you can get a girlfriend." I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure that you can get one of them to beg you for money every day, but somebody that actually likes you for who you are, no." And the screwed up thing is a lot of the guys that write the stuff on my channel, it's like they're in a subconscious way aware that chicks are like really shallow. That's why they sit up here and they talk all this crap about doing exercise. It's like, oh yeah, this person that only likes you for the way you look, definitely will now fall in love with you for who you are. Yeah. It's like, again, I have a bridge to sell you. This one guy actually said that men like chicks for who they are, and then chicks only like them for like circumstance. And he didn't say it was all of them, but like in the present era, that he believes that like most chicks only like men for something they represent, whereas a man actually likes a woman for who she is. Like you don't see men going, I wonder how much money this woman has. Does she go to the gym? Does she have a million subscribers on YouTube or followers on Instagram? Like you only see it the other way around. It was the same thing with the gold digger with the baby, or excuse me, the dingbat with the baby. I got her nickname mixed up with the other person. It's like that guy lost so much money trying to help her. It's like you have to really, because you don't see chicks stick their neck out for men like that ever. Too much of them do the red herring like doing stuff that is indicative of a person that shows they're interested and just backpedals or retracts when the male reciprocates too far and in between. Some actually will care about you and want to spend time with you. Yeah, but that's why I said that, like, it just doesn't seem to me as if chicks actually will like me for who I am, or if they do, it's on some friend zone crap. So it's like this: if one of them likes you for who you are, it's friend zone crap, or if they want to speak to you, it's on some, like ulterior motive stuff. Like, oh, can you do a video with me so I can become famous on here? Or, uh, oh, can you give me money? Like that's the kind of stuff I think they're barking up the tree of. Because I've seen them do that before. Damn parasites. But from what I've seen, every time someone in a relationship helps out the other person in a way that actually matters, it's the man doing it for the woman. Like in real life, I've only ever seen when one person is in some kind of like financial bind and they need assistance, it's the guy doing it for the woman. It's never the like you never see a man, oh man, I can't pay off my student loans. And his girlfriend, I'll help you out. Never. It's always the other way around. And that's why I said that, like, when you really break it down, it's like, okay, they don't offer anything of any um, consequence, utility. And then people sit here and, pretend that them screwing you or going on a date is like the most amazing thing ever. So why not just only do this stuff with hookers? If chicks are, by and large, only ever going to be of any value to you when they're doing sexual stuff, then what's the point of, you know, bothering with the ones that are hookers? Like, you get what I'm saying of how it's like, from what we've seen of them, the only thing they do that people are that most of them are actually like able to do is just screw. So yeah, just bother with hookers. When a man needs help, the woman disappear. Yeah, I just don't see where they're helpful at all. They've like I can't think out of all the chicks I've spoken to, none of them have ever offered to do anything for me that was of any aid. I had one of them record some lines for my show, and then she vanished and screwed it up even more. Like they just don't do anything that I find to be very helpful. Yeah, but the relationship requires two, not one, to actually work or flourish. Pretty much, but when you only have one side that likes the other, it becomes very difficult to bother with it. Oh, it's very one-sided. I mean, we even were going over this before. I could have a million subscribers, and you would never see someone tell, like a woman, to get with me. Oh, you need to have muscles and clout and status and money. Like no one would ever write that. And like it doesn't matter what kind of man you are. Just if you are a male, no matter what you accomplish, you're considered of lesser value than the most basic and minute of women. Like I don't really find it appealing to um, keep dealing with a group of people who I know are going to be treated as if they're better than me by virtue of their gender. Am I cynical enough yet? Again, you can believe whatever you want. I don't have a problem with someone disagreeing. It's just when you try to have those like back and forth debates, I'm like, please go away with that. If I wanted to have a debate, I'd go and ask NBC to moderate it. Whew. It's so sad when you actually sit here and talk about chicks. People call you sexist, and it's like you say over and over that like it's not all of them. But I'm just going off of my experiences. Like every time there's financial stuff involved, it's the man paying for the woman. Every time someone um, doesn't like another person back, it's the woman not liking the man back. And even worse, after she sat there and talked about how much she liked him before that. So to me, they just seem like a really genuine way to screw up your brain. Like they'll leave you sitting there dazed and confused. You'll be like this. Yeah, I just realized that most relations between heterosexual men and women aren't equal. So accept it. Well, you can accept it without participating in it. Like I don't want to be with someone that begs me for money every time I see them or at all. Because I've never done that to someone else. I'm not interested in being with someone who I can infer only likes me because of something I own. It's just like that's why this stuff doesn't really seem appealing to me. I had this one person that was like, uh, what was that stupid thing they wrote? Oh, they were like trying to argue against me for saying that if I did have like coins, I would only give it to my brother or some other. It's like, yeah, at least he'll actually spend time with me. At least he was around before I had any of this stuff. It's like don't get mad at me for rewarding the people who actually were there for me before any of the that don't have an ulterior motive. Women talk a lot of trash about men in their social media, but no one wants to talk about it. They should hear what the women say about us. Remember, one side's allowed to criticize the other with no cause for filter or issue, and then if you criticize women ever, you know. And it's weird too because I mentioned before in real life when I was a kid, I used to hear men talk about chicks being stupid and and that's why I don't like the I word because they took it and now it's like every time you criticize women on anything, you're labeled that. Um, and it just doesn't make for a fruitful dialogue. It's like it's literally like the new McCarthy scare, the new Red Scare. Like this person disagrees with me, he's a communist. Like this person said something about a woman, they're an I word. Like they just throw out these name calling insults, but they don't actually address what you're saying. It's only a big deal when men talk trash or criticize women in any kind of way. Which again used to be the norm. I used to like, and again, no one had an issue with it because it was understood that when women get together, they talk about men. When men get together, they talk about women. Like, nobody. That's why this stuff on here is really weird to me because, like, in real life, I don't know people like this. I don't know men that go, "Did you see what that guy was wearing? I wouldn't do him." It's like, what? Because that's how like the guys that like the ones that write nasty stuff to me. That's how they act. It's just a derogatory term if anyone criticizes a chick these days. Dude, they treat them like they are gods among men. I never thought I'd see something that there were that aren't there like a billion chicks in the world? Like, I don't. Again, I have to go over the population, but there's literal millions of them, and people act like they're just so above us all. It's really weird. And that's why I said to hell with them. Like, I don't want to talk to any of them unless it's for some project or some like, thing I'm doing. Um, they were talking about drafting people. It's like I'm not going to die in a banana war for a bunch of chicks that don't care about me. Like, to hell with it. Fresh man, everybody keeps promoting. Like, I'm so sick of this free advertising. We might as well just rename the channel Billboard Zone, which people just come and say, "Hey, did you watch this other person's video? Did you hear about this other person? What about this person?" I just don't want to hear about the RCU. So I'm gonna ask Dio politely, can we stop talking about the romance cinematic universe for 2 seconds? No, they got mentioned earlier by what was that, Simzone? It's like there's a mandate if you talk about romance, make sure you bring up this guy and that guy. I want to really get like a billboard and just write their name on, and just hold it the whole screen. Their channel's dead at this point after some. Well, I mean, everybody's channel is dead. I know channels with 700,000 subs that aren't even getting 100,000 views per video or 50,000. TYT has what is it, 4 or 5 million subscribers. They can't even get 100,000 views a video, and then they're over here celebrating because they have 6 or 5 or 4,000 people. It's like you have millions of subs, and not even 5% of them are watching your streams. Like, get out of here. Everybody's channel is dead. Look at Team 4-Star. If they put up anything that's not Dragon Ball Abridged, they can't even crack 500,000 views. Oh my god. I know celebrities that can't get more than 200 people to watch. That was always a bizarre correlation here on YouTube. What it is that a lot of people have like one type of video that is really popular and gets a whole bunch of views, and if they discuss something else, it doesn't get that much attention. So again, with TYT, sometimes they get 100,000, maybe a million, very rarely, but sometimes 100,000. But generally, just day to day, that 5 million subscribers is doing this. With TFS, if they do abridged, they'll get like millions of views on it. Sometimes even more millions than people that subscribe, which is really good. But if they do like a podcast or that unabridged thing they were trying to make, the subscribers. And again, it's like I said before, I'd rather have 2,000 subs with 1,000 views of video than 10,000 subs with 10 views of video, because more people are watching even if I have less subs. YouTube is a cesspool of misinformation. Well, we can't get rid of any of it because then my free speech. They got rid of one video. They didn't take down his channel. They got rid of one video, so you can't post video for a week. My free speech. I love it when Anna lost over the makeup removal app. That was classic. Now, my favorite moment with her is probably where, I don't know if you ever saw this video, but there was a scandal where some boys at a college campus made like it wasn't a tier list, but they were talking about chicks in like a Google Doc that they shared amongst themselves. And they were found out by one of the teachers and they got in trouble for it. And Jank said they shouldn't get in trouble because it's a private document among them as friends. And then Anna was like, they made a document defiling women, and she was screaming at him. It's funny. It's like, you really think chicks don't say nasty things about men? Does anybody really believe that the chicks are like all just like, he seems like a nice person, but I don't personally. Man, I get out of here. My free speech. I'm being censored. I got yanked from multiple servers on Discord, and I never went around saying, my free speech, they're dictators. I can't make a video and I can't talk about them anywhere else. Dude, Discord's actually probably the worst one when it comes to getting like banned, because unless you make another account and go in that same server and like pretend to be somebody else, you can't see any of the stuff they're writing about you anymore. At least if somebody gets rid of you on YouTube, like ban you from the channel, you can still watch them. I have never been banned from like any of these. The only site was Twitter, and I don't even use them anymore. If there's so much censorship, why do you want to use them? Just like on Wikipedia, like one of the guys on there deleted my comment on his page. I posted on my page, say this is what I wrote before he scrubbed it. And then when it looked like those guys were like being nasty to me, I screenshotted all their stuff, gave them some goofy names, made a video. Like there's always another avenue to express an opinion. Just like when people get mad they can't write stuff on your channel and they act like they can't write something about you on their channel or somebody else's, they're not mad because they're being censored. They're mad because they have to go somewhere else to like on the same website, right, to express their view. They want to make sure you see it. Just like with TYT, it's like they don't read any comments unless you pay them. And I'm not about to send them $2, tell them how screwed up they are. Just make a video. And whether they saw it or not doesn't matter to me. It's just, it's a matter of discussing something I find interesting. I'm being censored. They have all these different ways to talk, and they get the tiniest pushback ever, and they're censored. I believe this Discord ban actually prevents the ban users from joining that same server, even if they get IP ban, yeah. But like I know that the one I got yanked from, I was still able to go in there with another account. And I didn't even go in there to like beef because, my thing is after you get rid of me, I don't care about anything you make anymore. I just came in there to screenshot stuff. It's like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, can I actually play the noise on here? No, I don't think I can. I was about to make the same like snapping noise when you screenshot something. TYT only read comments they agree with. Did you watch the reaction on the Gillette commercial? No. Who wants to be part of a stream where the hosts act like you're not even there unless you pay them something? Like, how is that fun? Like, I might as well post a video. That's always the thing I hate about the bigger channels. Like, they don't read anybody's comment unless you pay them. Like, you don't even exist unless you give them $1. And people go along with it. They believe that to be acknowledged, they have to give you a coin. Yeah, YouTube is a really insane site. Just the stuff that people put up with. And then like all these big channels can barely get views that actually correlate to their channel. Like I would hate to have like 1 million subscribers and then I'm getting like 20,000. Like, what is this? Because what's the point of having all those subs? Like, if they're not going to watch, that's weird to me. I just think it's really crazy to like actually get excited about more subscribers. Just like I had 100+ new ones after the stream where all those people were watching. I wasn't excited at all. I was like, I know how this goes. You'll get maybe 1 or 2 guys at max that'll show up here and there. Everybody else, they click a button and act like you don't even exist. I saw one person had 5 comments on the same video. That's like the only thing I'm gonna start doing differently. If I'm subscribed to somebody, I'll actually leave comments on their stuff now. I used to leave comments on James's videos before he kept deleting and rebooting like he was Sony Pictures. Or like, well, what's the point of leaving a comment on a video that's gonna vanish in a week? You know, like every couple of weeks, it's just his stuff just yanks it. He really does remind me of like a superhero movie franchise, like with Batman. It's like let's make 89 with Tim Burton directing and Michael Keaton as Batman. And oh, that was great. Let's give Tim Burton more control. And then Keaton comes back. Oh yeah. And then oh, people are protesting the movie. Screw Tim Burton. Let's get Joel Schumacher. Oh, Keaton just left. Well, we'll have him be played by Val Kilmer. And then the movie does like really well. So, oh, let's do another one. Oh, Val Kilmer won't come back. Well, we'll have George Clooney. Oh, the movie is considered one of the worst films ever made. And the Batman. Was it 8, 9 years later? All right, let's do a new one. It's Batman Begins with Christian Bale. It's just reboot. I don't see those same people commenting on your. That's why I said they don't like subscribers don't matter. They're just an overinflated number. Listen, the only time subs matter is if you get 1,000 because then you can monetize. But empirically, most of them don't matter. Like if I get 100,000, I get a plaque with my name on it. So I guess that's like kind of cool. But you know, outside of that, no. Gotta love how people tell you to make other content, but then I'll watch the content that they wanted. Just like with that, what's that guy's name? There's some guy that was like, he wanted me to do political. So I was like, there's political videos every week and you don't even comment on those. Like, you want me to believe a person that can't watch a 3-minute clip is going to stick around for an hour plus long stream? Again, I have a bridge to sell you. It's like telling Burger King to make a new sandwich, but then they don't bother to buy the new sandwich. I still can't go over that bastard. You need to talk about something else. Here's an Israel stream. Yeah, he's Sonic. Oh, you know what? The next Dead by Daylight video, instead of being another Mobile Adventures video, it's probably going to be called Sonic the Ghost Face, because there was a hacker. So people like to hack that game a lot. There was a hacker playing as Ghostface, and he was moving so fast, it was ridiculous. So I'm probably gonna make a video about that, and it won't even be called like Dead by Daylight mobile event. No third one yet. It's just gonna be, because it was 2 of them I saw. There was one hacker who was really fast that was playing as a survivor, and they were still losing is the funniest thing in the world to me. And then there was another hacker playing as Ghostface that was like zooping around the whole. It's like, this is insane. And again, stuff like that, you know, people like say rage quitting, but it's like, I really do want to disconnect, because what fun is there in playing a video game that someone sucks at so much they have to hack to become better at? Because I've had killers get me, like before we do any generators, never disconnected. I don't like care enough about it, but it really pisses me off when I'm trying to play this game and then I can't play it without someone ruining it by putting in cheats. People like cheating in online games. So yeah, there was one video this guy made about someone that hacked the report button, where you click the report button and then it says ejaculate inside little and then female child. So like they actually hacked it to where that sentence was repeated over and over, this pedophilic message. So people love hacking that game. And I've played at least 7 matches with hackers at this point. I just haven't recorded any of them before the last 2 that I did, because you never expect it. You know, you're just playing the game and all of a sudden somebody's moving really quickly, or one person, one time I was playing as killer, because it's 2 hits to take somebody down usually. I kept hitting them and they wouldn't like take any damage. By the way, they still ended up getting killed because I grabbed them when they were trying to pull somebody off the hook. I love it when somebody hacks and they still lose. That's the ultimate L. Why didn't you? You can't. There is no report button in the mobile version. That's why. Don't worry, my report is going to be showing them on camera. Look at this person. Over hacking this game so terrible that he has to hack the game to be able to like play in a manner where he's winning. He or she, whatever. Why didn't I report them? You really think I would sit there and be like, well, I like this game, but this person is hacking and ruining it, but I'm not going to say anything. Asking you're already turning into a troll, Brandon, asking these antagonistic questions. And then it's my fault this person is hacking because I didn't report them on a game where I can't report anybody. Why did you let this person rob a bank? It's like I didn't see him. I don't think devs never really cared about in general about reports of players cheating in online multiple. No, this one guy said every time people report somebody, um, really the only thing where people actually get in trouble is like Xbox Live because there have been times where people play that game on there, and then somebody calls them like a racial slur, some slur about like gay people, for example, and then they'll report them and they'll get in trouble on there. But like the actual developers of that game, no, they just add more costumes and some characters, and that's it. Actually making the game play better and getting rid of people being able to do stuff. No. The only time they go after hackers is when people are modding the game, like as far as the way their character looks, which is really harmless because they're just making their character look differently. Like I take that instantly over any of this other stuff these people do, and they don't do anything about it. They go after the people that are innocently hacking, like not actually modifying the game to win better or have a higher chance of winning. But they won't go after the people that are speeding around and have infinite health and all the rest of that stuff. They don't care if their games are dying off. The devs will focus on anything other than caring about their fan base. You really want to ask me why didn't I report? You know what? Just because you asked that, during the video I'm gonna show where there's nowhere you can report anybody on the mobile version because it is not. I'm not going to take responsibility for somebody else sucking so much in the game that they have to put some Game Shark action replay crap on it to be able to be victorious. That's not my that's not my cross to bear. And here comes Music Fiend, the 11th hour ranger of the stream. Also, there are a lot of people in that game with some very, I guess, sexual names. Names that I don't even want to say because I don't think I'd be believed. I have to actually show myself playing with them for you to know that these are their actual names on here. Why didn't you report this person in the game where you can't report anybody? Oh, Music Fiend just came to say that and then vanished. All right. He wasn't being 11th hour ranger. He was making a cameo. People do that where they show up to a stream, write one thing, and then vanish, like that other person. Which I'm glad he left. I wish he would never write anything again and just go away. Do us all a favor and disappear. Anyways, I'm gonna get off of here because people, the chat is dying, and I don't feel like attending the funeral. So, thanks Megumi, thanks Music Fiend, thanks Sim, thanks Akatsuki Merchant, Dio, Euro, Vince before he vanished, and have a good day. Hmm.